gave up a TV job to start a podcast in your basement. If that doesn't scream midlife crisis, I don't know what does.
It was Championship Sunday here in Indianapolis. What's the mindset then coming in as a defending champion?
I want to win. No, I want to win.
The young lady over my shoulder, Caitlin Clark.
Not the best looking guy. And I don't think anyone's going to sit here and say, Matt Randazzo was really good looking.
What has this last month, 2 months, 3 months been like for you? It's an important fan base for the Fighting Illini, is it not?
It is.
He turned 69 years young last week. You look good, Coach.
Oh, try it. Thank you.
Welcome to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday in the Quad Cities, Monday, October 13th. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend. Hopefully the beginning of your work week is off to a good start. It's Columbus Day. That means some people don't work today, including our first guest coming up in just a little bit. We'll get to him in a second. So if you're off work, you get a chance to check out the show. Hopefully, if you are working or at school or wherever, you can help us, or we can help you get your week off to a good start. If you're watching us on YouTube, we appreciate that. If you haven't, please subscribe. If you already have, thank you. Tell a friend or two or 10 about what we're doing each and every day at 9 a.m. Also, if you're watching us on X, we are live on X. X is always very, very good to us, so we appreciate that as well. You can also check out the show on all the podcasting platforms, whether it's Spotify, Podbean, Apple, iHeart, you name it. Put in Off the Air with Matt Randazzo, and you can listen to the show as you work in the yard or work out or whatever you do on your way home from work, anything like that. Check out the show. We appreciate it. And also welcome to our viewers in Central Iowa. Gosh, are we on 4 weeks with you guys putting up with me? It's been fun. We appreciate the feedback. It's a big week for Iowa athletics here on the show. Not just today, but also the next couple days as well. We'll get to that in a second as well. So thank you guys for watching and the feedback we appreciate as well. It is a big week here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo. A good show today. We'll get to that in a second, but we have a couple big shows coming up. We're going to go and hit the road 3 times this week. So only 2 shows here in studio. Coming up, starting tomorrow, we're going to be live at at Carver Hawkeye Arena. There it is. There's the graphic I'm looking for. Iowa Basketball Media Day. Wednesday is the men, Tuesday the women. So we'll start tomorrow. We'll be live at Carver Hawkeye Arena from Iowa Women's Basketball Media Day. I got to chat with head coach Jan Jensen this past weekend on the Hawkeye Tailgate Show on the Hawkeye Radio Network. She joined me at Big Grove. An amazing human being. I can't say enough nice things about her. But we'll be at Women's Basketball Day tomorrow. Hopefully catch up with her, some players as well. That'll be a different start time. So we won't start at 10 a.m. Most likely start around 9:15. You'll get the notification alerts and all those kind of things. But looking at that time to start for tomorrow. And then for the men, it's Wednesday. Ben McCullum, new era of Iowa basketball. Everyone's really excited. His press conference is noon on Wednesday. So thinking around noon, 12:15 to start our show at Carver Hawkeye Arena. So 2 shows on the road, back-to-back days up in Iowa City at Carver Hawkeye Arena. And then as always, we do the show on the road on Fridays as well, going to the Soul Bowl this week, Moline versus United Township. So that should be a ton of fun as well. As for today's show, boy, were the Iowa Hawkeyes impressive on Saturday night. They not just won, they dominated the Badgers for the 2nd straight season, 37-0, the final score. Pat Anger will join us in a matter of moments to talk all about how impressive Iowa was, maybe how bad Wisconsin looked, and a whole bunch more coming up in just a little bit. Also, a busy Friday night of high school football down in Monmouth, Roseville. Nick Huston, their standout running back, rushed for 282 yards. That's a school record. He threw for a touchdown. He also caught a touchdown, had 3 touchdowns rushing, so 5 total. They won a division championship. We'll talk with Nick coming up a little bit later on the show as well. On the Iowa side, Wilton, after making the Dome last year, off to another fantastic start to the season. And for the small schools in Iowa, the postseason starts a week early, so they're getting ready for their last regular season game. There's none better in the business than Wilton's Ryan Hetzler. He'll join us coming up on the show as well. And then also it's Marxy Monday. John Marx will join me to talk about everything. We got the Lions debacle from last night. We have Brian Branch hitting people. We have Iowa, Illinois, the Cubs, Alleman football, which everybody wants to probably know what a couple Alleman guys think of that. So John Marx coming up later in the show as well. So a lot to get to. It was a great sports weekend around the area. We also want to congratulate Moline's Isaac Rumler. He was on the show last week. He finished second at the state golf meet. So second place as a freshman, third place as a sophomore, and second place again as a junior. One of the best young golfers in our area. We'll be hearing a lot from Isaac Rumler over the next several years. But congratulations to him, the Moline standout, with a really, really good weekend down in Bloomington. So we start our show on a Monday with this guy, Pat Anger. And I'm going to tell you, you always give me a hard time because we record our segment. This is as live can be right now. You can say whatever you want right now, and I have no way of editing it. And that's a scary thought on my end.
No, we are not live. This is Sunday, and I don't want you to continue to lie to the people just like you did on the news.
You are officially a media member. You're lying to the to the people. So welcome to the media. You're as live as can be.
How are you, buddy?
Hey, what a great weekend. First off, how was Madison? The game was awesome, but how was the crew? How'd everybody do? Did you get any Hardee's? I heard there was no Hardee's breakfast in the Madison area. How was the weekend outside of football?
Yeah, I didn't get any Hardee's. That was tough. That was a tough deal for me. Usually Hardee's isn't my pregame, but we went to this place called the Original Pancake House, which we actually went to one of them when we were in Rutgers. So it's good luck.
So it was interesting too. The original, because there's one in Rutgers. So it's kind of a lie.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, it was weird. We get there and we're wearing Iowa stuff and everybody's like, oh, you guys are going to kill us. We suck. All these Wisconsin people when we're at the restaurant. And I thought that was kind of interesting. I'm like, I don't know the games they're playing here. I don't want to dive into it. I'm like, it's going to be a good game, blah, blah, blah. But they were right. Yeah. Those Wisconsin fans, they know.
They were right. Well, let's get to it. 37-0. What impressed you the most about that performance on Saturday night?
Well, I think with this team, what you're going to get every week, which I appreciate. You're going to get guys that are going to come out there and fight no matter where the heck it's at. They're going to be together. They're going to be hungry. And I really like that about this group. You know exactly what you're going to get. And there were a lot of situations in that game where they were baiting us into some stuff. Like, obviously, from the start, the number 7, I don't even know his name because he didn't do anything the whole game. Number 7 gets in our swarm, gets in the face of our guys in the swarm, tries to start a fight. And what was really telling about that, not the fact that he was trying to start a fight before the game, but the fact that he was on kickoff the next play. He was on kickoff the first play. Now, if that happens and you've got a culture that's really strong, you got a guy that gets an unsportsmanlike penalty prior to the game, he doesn't play. You sit him. But no, he was on the kickoff. So that's very, very telling about the culture they have right now. And honestly, it's kind of sad because it's not the Wisconsin culture and toughness and discipline group that I was used to playing and used to watching. And obviously had a lot of respect for them when we played them because we knew we were going to be in a scrap and it was going to be, a disciplined team, not a lot of mistakes. And that wasn't the case. There were a lot of after the plays pushing and you're up by 30 points and they're pushing you after the play, trying to start a fight. It's like, what are you doing? But the best thing about it is between the whistles, our guys, played disciplined. They fought, they played fair. They were tough and much respect. I mean, Iowa fans should be very, very proud of the team that they have and the culture that Coach Ferentz brings.
I want to talk about that beginning because I was going from Big Grove to Waterloo to watch the game with some buddies. And so not that I don't always listen to yourself and Gary, but I was more locked into yourself and Gary as always. And just I thought it was I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. It was a real moment. Like I thought that was one of the more real moments you've had on radio. And I went back and I watched the YouTube feed as well because you can't prepare for that. And you were genuinely like, what a loser. And I thought it was great because like and then you mentioned he got the penalty, but he still played. They talked and you heard about it, that since January, this was the game they were talking about, and they were doing 42 push-ups and all of those kind of things. How do you do that for 6-7 months and then trail 17-0 after the first quarter? Like the whole thought process just blows my mind. But back to the beginning a little bit, just the realness of that moment. And they put a lot of stock into this game, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And honestly, it just shows that, hey, if you're going to circle a game and you're going to make a priority, don't make it public. Because then when you get your butt kicked, it's you're the laughing stock. Yeah, it's funny too. Like you can't you don't circle a game. Every game's the most important, right? But yeah, from the start, it was very, very chippy, and they were doing things after the play. They were trying to bait our guys into being undisciplined, and that's a bad culture, and that's a loser mentality. And our guys stuck through it. I mean, they were fighting. We were fighting. We were competing. I mean, I saw Logan Jones block a guy into the stands, but it was within the whistles, within the rules. And so it's like, hey, if you want to fight, you want to battle, awesome, but let's do it legally. And we did it legally. And all the pregame talk, all the post-play shenanigans and all that stuff, that doesn't really do you any good between the lines.
Pat Anger joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. Pat, we knew this defense was really good. And they weren't taking the ball away. And you knew if they started taking the ball away, boy, the sky was the limit. That, I think, is what we saw this past weekend, that they started to get those turnovers. So they went from being a really good defense to almost an elite one. Shutting out a team in college football is extremely hard to do. And the way they were getting those takeaways, those big fellas were making plays as well. I love Dolph and you and the reaction with Graves almost returning it for a touchdown and all of that kind of thing. Talk about the defense. Obviously, they pitched the shutout, but the way they did it, I thought was pretty special as well, because they're starting to take the ball away, which is even more positive for the rest of the season.
Yeah, I like that they're calling the D linemen the Doughboys now, which I appreciate. I think that was great. But yeah, it's the thing is, like, if you continue to play and you play hard and you play aggressive and you read your keys and you do your job, those interceptions, those turnovers, they're going to happen, especially if you're running the ball. And it was really great to see our D linemen get their hands on some of those interceptions. And I mean, Graves, what a freaking great read on that screen. Screens are really hard to read. I always struggled with them because it seemed like every time I was blitzing, they'd run a screen, and I would think, I'm like, oh gosh, I got this amazing pass rush move, and really the guy was just letting me by. But that's a veteran read by him, to be able to read the screen, get in the path of the ball, and stumble and race and run and grit all the way down to the goal line. And if you got a guy that's 300 pounds and he's running the ball in and he's close to the touchdown, give him the touchdown, dude. Give him the ball, like, give it to him. I don't understand why they wouldn't do that. I mean, I think there's a conspiracy there, and I'm going to get to the bottom of it. I think the Big Ten's trying to take some touchdowns away from our big boys, which I don't appreciate. I've talked to Eads about that, because I don't think that's very, very fair. And then Hawthorne, Brian Allen came off the edge, forced the ball out. Hawthorne with a diving catch, just really cool. Super proud of these guys, because they, after a tough loss to Indiana and a bye week and all that stuff, you can go one or two ways, right? You can kind of pout and moan and hey, blah blah blah, and but they came together. They came out fired up. They came out hungry and ready to go, and it's really fun watching them compete.
Pat, you mentioned, or I should say Dolph mentioned after that interception, like, put him at fullback. I thought that was a great idea. Put Graves at fullback. Give that big guy the touchdown that he deserves. Pat Anger joining us right now and off the air with Matt Randazzo. You look at the offensive side of the football. Wisconsin doesn't give up a lot of rushing yards. I mean, that's what their one thing they were good at was stopping the run. And you watched Iowa control the line of scrimmage. That offensive line gets better and better every single week, and they already were really, really good. Your thoughts on those big guys up front? Because, again, in the trenches, we talked about the defensive linemen. The offensive linemen won the football game for Iowa as well.
Yeah, pregame, obviously, you've got to hype up the opponent, right? You've got to hype them up, and they had really good stats against their rush. But the reason why they had such good stats against the rush, because everybody could pass on them. everybody was throwing the ball all over them. So it's kind of like, yeah, they're really good rush defense, but really, they can get past the, like when I think there was year of the Colts, one or the other, we were really good against the rush, but we gave up 1,000,000 yards passing, or vice versa, one of the two. But yeah, so some of those stats are a little bit skewed there. But I do think their D line, watching them on film, they're the toughest group. They're their best group. And our offensive line, once again, completely dominated them. Those guys are violent. They're vicious. And what's great too is our running backs. We've got so many of them that are so quick and really good at reading the blocks and cutting. And it was just perfect. And props to Mark too. For being injured and battling back and doing what he had to do to get on the field. And he did a really good job leading that team and getting everybody in the right position in the right place.
You knew Gronowski was going to play the whole time, didn't you? Last week at this time when you were on the show, you were just lying to everybody. You knew from the jump, didn't you?
You know what? I figured if anybody was going to get their body right in that short amount of time, it would have been him. And talking to him post game, because I don't think a lot of people understand, like, you get injured and it's like, all right, yeah, he's going to go to rehab and all that stuff. Like, first of all, it's lonely and it's hard, and he's got school and he's got football, and he said on top of that, he put 6 hours in a day doing rehab, which is extremely impressive and just shows how much he wants to play and how much he wants to be a Hawkeye and how much he wants to be out there with the guys, and to have a leader like that and a quarterback like that is pretty cool.
Last one on Wisconsin before we talk about Penn State.
Let's keep talking about beating them. I enjoyed it. But honestly, I will tell you this. It was sad. It was a little bit sad because it's not the Wisconsin, the culture-wise that we're used to seeing. And it a little bit sad. But hey, don't talk trash.
Well, it's funny because we kind of talked several times last week on the show about, you look at Wisconsin and that's what people at Iowa need to kind of use as a case study. All these people that want to complain because they lose the game by 3 points to a number 15 ranked team or whatever, and they want to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Hey, like, this is what can happen. Like, this is Luke Fickell was a home run higher, Pat. Like, this guy was at Cincinnati and doing great things, and oh no, here comes Wisconsin. It's got to fit culturally and all of those kind of things, and it hasn't for them up there. Pat, we watched Jump Around, in which the Wisconsin players weren't jumping around at the beginning of the fourth quarter, and the Iowa players, our Kirk Ferentz-led Iowa football team, was jumping around the sidelines. What went through your mind when you saw that? That's got to be a sight that you never probably would have ever expected to see at Camp Randall Stadium.
Honestly, though, like, it's something that when you're winning a game out there and they play jump around, you want to throw it right in their face. You want to throw it absolutely right in their face. It was really cool, and you could tell our guys were having fun, and what a tremendous group. I love covering this team. I really do. I like all the guys. They're tough. They're physical. They do it right, and they play Iowa football in a way that us former players are extremely proud of. What I was terrified about during the jump around, I've never been in the booth during the jump around. It was shaking. Yeah, it was dangerous. I did not like that, and like even after, you felt like it was still moving. But it was kind of interesting too. After the jump around, I think their whole crowd left, and then we had Swish was our spotter, John Swisher, the legend, is a big Cubs fan. So we had the Cubs Brewers game on. So basically, and we're pretty close to the fans. So they essentially just turned around and watched the Cubs Milwaukee game in our booth for the rest of the game.
That's hilarious. I started the radio afternoon or evening off with Jan Jensen. First, she says hi. Awesome. She says hi. She told me that you and I knew that Mary used to babysit her kids, and you ever so often would join her as well. She's as genuine of a human being as you're ever going to come across, isn't she?
I mean, how lucky are we to have her, to go from Lisa Bluter, who's amazing, to Jan Jensen. She's wonderful, and I'm so lucky to have known her for since I was sophomore, junior in college, and tremendous people. Family's great, and what a great leader and what a great representative for the University of Iowa. Not just Iowa women's basketball, but for the University of Iowa in general. We're so lucky to have her.
We had a lot of storylines coming into the Penn State Iowa game, a night game, Kinnick Stadium, all of those kind of things. And then as the day went on Saturday, they just became more and more and more. First off, Penn State loses at home to Northwestern, and you're like, wow, they've lost 3 straight. Then
How do you lose to Northwestern? I would never lose to Northwestern, ever.
We'll let that be. We'll let that be. Especially at home, right? At home.
Exactly.
Who loses to them at home?
What are you doing?
But it's kind of this, like, can you imagine, like, that happening in your day and then them firing Kirk? Like, I'm not a huge James Franklin guy, but okay, they lose their starting quarterback, and then all of a sudden they fire James Franklin. Your thoughts on when you hear that news? They were in the national semifinals last year, and we talk about how close Iowa is. Like, Penn State's probably 3 plays away from being undefeated and ranked number 3 in the country, and now they have fired their head coach with a $50 million goodbye bonus package as he leaves. Just your thoughts when you hear James Franklin no longer the head coach at Penn State.
Yeah, it's quite surprising. I mean, maybe there's something else there that we're missing. Obviously, they're not having a good season. But, I mean, I don't know. The guy, like you said, the guy was in the college football semifinals last year. Lost, and they were 3 points away from making it to the championship. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's very, very interesting. Yeah, it's weird that college football has kind of become that. That's usually something that really would happen in the NFL, the mid-season fires, but college football is becoming that. And it's and obviously maybe because of recruiting and NIL and transfer portal and all that stuff, they kind of got to get ahead of the game. But, you know, if you're another coach and you're possibly thinking about that job, it's like, okay, if I lose 3 games, they're going to fire me.
Yeah.
You know, like that's yeah. And what it does too is it really speaks highly of the longevity and the commitment and the culture that Iowa has from the top to the bottom. Is that, hey, we're going to ride with you and we're going to support you and we're going to be with you and we're going to help you grow and help you develop the culture and the team dynamic that you want and that we also believe in.
I think a lot of people, maybe media members as well, and I kind of felt this way too when I heard the news, thought that, like, boy, this makes Penn State more dangerous for Iowa this weekend. I don't know, and who knows how it's going to play. How does a player deal with this? Obviously, you've never dealt with it. You had Kirk Ferentz the whole time, but it can go 2 ways, in my opinion. And I think if you're Iowa and you can get out to a quick lead, these guys can deflate pretty quickly. They just lost their quarterback. They just lost their coach, and you go down quickly. It could be a really fun night at Kinnick Stadium. Or they can rally the troops and play for their coach or whatever. Does it affect, I guess my question is, does it affect negatively or positively what's to come on Saturday night and how they can prepare for this game against Iowa?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. I'd be interested to see the stats on win-loss record post coach being fired midseason. Seemed to have worked for UCLA, right? Seemed to have done a good job. But yeah, like you said, it's I'll be interested to see. And I can't think of the interim's coach off the top of my head, but he's a Penn State player, previous player. He's been around the program for a long time. I just looked it up and I can't remember. So maybe, maybe he'll bring them together and they'll be solid. Who knows? I'm not sure, but either way, what we do, it doesn't impact it. We're going to control the clock. We're going to run the football. We're going to do what we do best. And hey, good luck playing in front of our amazing fan base and inside Kinnick Stadium at night. Yeah, I'll be interested to see, what they come out with. What they haven't really watched a bunch of tape on Penn State. Just looked up some stats just recently. I just want to see, why are they losing? And a lot of it is their time of possession is terrible. Their time of possession is not good. They lose every game they've lost. They've got killed in time of possession, which is kind of alarming because they're a team that really does a good job controlling that clock and run the football and sustaining drives. Yeah, we'll see, and looking forward to the challenge and the opportunity for these boys to play under the lights again. Wow. Inside Kinnick Stadium. I love those night games at Kinnick. I love the night games at Kinnick.
No, I think it's going to be an electric atmosphere. Of course, a 6 p.m. kick. Pat, when you look at it too, I think you look week 1 Iowa, and you look now at this Iowa football team, and you've seen the growth. I think Saturday night people are going to focus on Penn State and the adjustments and the new coach and new quarterback, all that kind of stuff. They're going to talk all about that. I think Iowa's playing really good football. Isn't it more about Iowa more than anything else on Saturday night? Because I feel like if they keep playing the way they're going to play, it don't matter if their quarterback was healthy, if James Franklin was there. I think they're playing really good football, and Iowa fans have a lot to be excited about moving forward.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. I love this team, and they really remind me a lot of our 2008 team. Just with the hunger, you've got a lot of names on the squad, but really not a lot of like really huge names, right? There's not a lot of like this guy was preseason this guy was preseason that. You're relying heavily on a really good offensive line, and they've been so good to us. They have been, I would say, that our best asset. And they're going to continue. Our team's going to continue to improve. They're going to continue to get better. They're going to continue to grow. You're seeing the growth. Just the last week, of our linebackers, you saw the growth throughout the game. Them reading plays and kind of like relaxing and figuring out not playing too fast and playing within their pads. And our running game is great. These running backs are phenomenal. Now in 2008, we did have Sean Green, which really helped. But we've got some studs. We've got some studs back there, and they're behind a really good old line. And I think the sky's the limit for this team. I think this is a team that Iowa fans are going to look back on after the season and be extremely proud of. And these kids deserve it. And looking forward to watching them continue to succeed because they really do deserve it. And they're a really good group.
I know you're busy on a Saturday, probably setting up technology and all that kind of stuff. I know you do a lot of that stuff. You can't watch a lot of the games, but I thought the game that stood out to me the most, besides the Penn State game, which I didn't even know about, how about Indiana going out to Oregon and winning? I think that makes what Iowa did and almost did with Indiana even more impressive. Your thoughts on that game? And I always tell people that the Iowa fans root for the teams that beat you. They make you look good. And that made Iowa look good with Indiana. Flip side of that is the Cyclones didn't do Iowa any favors on Saturday either. But I was really impressed with what Indiana did out in Oregon.
Yeah, they're a really good football team, man. And I'm the same way. If we lose to a team, I want them to win the rest of the season. And two, if we beat a team, I want them to win the rest of the season because we win either way, right? We win. They win, we win. But I watched that game. That we had that game on, and that was a really good football game. And once again, really impressed by Indiana and what Coach Cignetti's doing. They've got guys that play really hard. And what's interesting with them is they don't do anything that's like a holy moly. I can't believe that they're running these concepts. I can't believe this motion or this and that. Like it's very basic, very simple. But they've got guys that play really hard and they do their job and they understand what they need to do. And he puts them in the right position. So, and we held them. We held Indiana to 20 points and what they put 30 on Oregon. And, that should say a lot about our guys. And hopefully we can continue in this trajectory. And obviously we're going to have a tough one against Penn State, no matter who's coaching, no matter who's playing quarterback, no matter who's doing what. It's going to be a tough game and it's going to be a battle.
I do think that the rest of the season seems, and you probably won't say this, but I think from the start, and you looked at the schedule early on, and then now, I think Michigan State's a mess. I think Minnesota's a very winnable game. Oregon is always going to be tough, but heck, if you don't think Iowa can beat Oregon, you're crazy. You don't think that Iowa can beat Oregon in Kinnick Stadium with what we've seen and the Indiana game and all that kind of stuff. I think you're nuts. And then, obviously there's an opportunity against Penn State and the others that have come up in as well. What are you doing on a Monday? Are you like celebrating Columbus Day? You don't have to work, do you?
No. My son, Emmett's sick. Emmett got sick last night, so I'm just taking care of my little Emmett.
So the bank is open, or not the bank?
Yeah. No. We're closed. We're closed on Columbus Day. It's a holiday.
So you were off anyways.
Yes. No. Our faucet kept leaking, so I went to Home Depot and tried to fix it. So now it's leaking way more. So that'll be good.
Aren't you are you that guy? Like, because I feel so bad. My wife, she fixes everything. I'm like, can you just find somebody to fix it? And she's like, in the long roundabout way, she's like, you're not doing your job as the husband to fix stuff. So now I'm going to do it on, are you fix it guy? Can you fix things or no?
No, not really. I YouTubed it. Got it work. It actually works.
Oh, okay.
So that's good. Usually I'm not a fix-it guy. I'm terrible. I don't have the patience. And my dad used to try to teach me how to do all that stuff. And I just was like, well, I'm just going to go do 1,000 push-ups, or I'm going to go run somewhere. And I just, didn't have the patience to really do anything handy at all. But I'm getting better. I'm trying to become a man. We'll see.
Joke's on you, Dad. Now you played in the NFL. It worked out for you too. I mean, going and running and all that. I don't know what I was doing. What was I doing? When my dad would do the same thing. He'd be like, "Come here, little boy. Let me teach you how to do this." And I'm like, "I don't want to do this." And
I bet you probably were talking so much that he's probably like, Dazzle, Matt, just shut the hell up and get away from me. I'm sure that was most likely what happened.
Yeah, I would assume that's the case as well. All right, my friend. Well, I'll let you. This is as live as can be. I want to stress that to people because Pat is always trying to lie. This is
Not
as
live.
as live can be. So I'm so proud of
Not
you for
live.
doing it live and not getting yourself in trouble. Hey, I'm going to Iowa City a bunch this week, but I'll see you on Saturday there as well. I can't wait.
Yeah, that'll be cool going to the media days, the basketball media days. That'll be fun. Good for you, man.
Hey, it worked for football.
Big deal.
I don't know. Let's hope it works.
Who's going to carry the show this time? Because you had me obviously to carry the show up.
I did.
in
You
football. Who's
you
gonna
had
do
that huge announcement that rocked the sports landscape.
You're right. It did.
Me being the pregame host. I not to go watch the pregame show if you didn't watch the whole
listened
thing
to
over.
it.
But and it's not because Jan. She's such a good interview. She is so open and transparent and all those kind of things. She did a great. And then you came on afterwards and muddied the waters a little bit, but we steadied.
Well,
the
John Steppe came in afterwards and saved it, so that was good.
Why were you not on the YouTube? Why couldn't? Where were you at?
Oh, I don't like to stand up. I was just sitting down.
No, we couldn't see you. We went to nothing. Usually there's the dual box of both of us.
Oh, I don't know. I was sitting down. I was out of the camera.
Oh, all right.
Probably.
I went to go watch it. And
Nobody
I didn't
needs to see me. Nobody needs to see me.
Yeah, they do. All right, Patrick, go fix something, and we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks, pal.
Love you, buddy. See you, man.
All right. That is Pat Anger on a Monday. It's a fun Monday when Iowa goes up to Madison and pounds the Badgers 37-0, the final score. And Pat brought up some great points. I think they're playing really good football. I think the sky's the limit with these guys. And that's a typical Kirk Ferentz coach team. They continue to get better and evolve throughout the season. So a lot of good things to be excited about with Iowa football. And how about this? They come home, and so you look at it. They could have been 3-3, 1-2. Now they're 5-2, and 2-1 in conference. And setting up a huge showdown with Penn State, and a lot of talk, a lot of spotlight nationally will be on that game, and it'll be in a fantastic environment at Kinnick Stadium under the lights. We will have your Hawkeye tailgate show at 4:00 from Krause Family Plaza. So you're up in Iowa City, you're tailgating, stop by Krause Family Plaza, say hi, and we'll kind of get you set for Iowa and Penn State coming up this weekend. So that's Saturday. We got a lot more to get to between now and then, especially on today's show. Coming up after the break, it was a big weekend of sports. And so I want to break down. People have already texted me, are you going to talk about the Lions? Or you can talk about. So we're going to talk about Illinois. We're going to talk more college football. We're going to talk NFL stuff, preview the Bears game. And also, since Johnny Marx and I are both Alleman grads, we'll talk a little Alleman football as well. So Marxy Monday will be next right here on Off the Air with Matt Randazzo on a Monday in the Quad Cities. We'll be right back. All right, be honest. Are you craving Hungry Hobo again? You know, that fresh sliced meat piled high on those amazing sandwiches, hot off the grill chicken and steak with all those delicious toppings, the biggest and best selection of baked potatoes, or simply some waffle fries dipped in cheese. Well, now that Quad City favorite is even easier to get. Download the Hungry Hobo app today. Order ahead, skip the line, and earn rewards all at the same time. There's Double Points Monday and exclusive specials as well. With 12 locations in the Quad City area, it's Hungry Hobo. Now even easier to find, but still hard to resist.
Rafferty Funeral Home, dedicated to serving families in the Quad Cities since 2007.
Hi, welcome. Here, come on in.
An experienced staff plans each service to reflect the unique life and legacy of your loved one. Rafferty Funeral Home is proud to serve our community with dignity, respect, and compassion, helping you to celebrate your traditions and lasting memories no matter your faith, culture, or budget. Rafferty Funeral Home in Moline. Call today to discuss pre-arrangements.
When it comes to quality, convenient pizza, Godfather's Pizza in Silvis has you covered. Featuring a beautiful dine-in area, delivery, and a carry-out window. Godfather's Pizza is that pizza you grew up with, not a convenience store. You see, at Godfather's Pizza, the dough is made fresh daily. That mozzarella cheese is shredded fresh and never frozen. And those toppings are abundantly piled high each and every time. Locally owned and operated since 2010, Godfather's is a huge supporter of local athletes right here in the Quad Cities. So come on by and check them out at 1211 Avenue of the Cities in Silvis. Order online at godfathers.com and reunite with that same delicious pizza you grew up with. Welcome back to Off the Air with Matt Randazzo here on a Monday, October 13th. One of the best times of year when it comes to sports. There's a ton to talk about, and it's official. We have a segment, a weekly segment. It's called Marxy Monday, and my good friend John Marx, who has an opinion about everything, whether you like it or don't, joins me now because there's a bunch of stuff to talk about. And I said this at the end of our segment last week, Johnny. I grew up on sports radio. I love sports radio. So this is something I want, is just to be able to chat sports radio wise. So thank you for doing this. Unfortunately, it's not sports radio because people can see us. I think that's a bad thing for the viewers. But before we get rolling, how was your weekend?
It was fun. Got to spend the day watching my son play, and then celebrated my birthday with him yesterday before we got to leave town. And I have a new car. And I don't want to drive it. So long story short, I got to drive a GMC Sierra. I rent a car because I don't want to put new miles on my new Lexus. So I rented a GMC Sierra. It was difficult for my lovely wife to get up and into the cab. But Dazzle, I want a truck. I want to go buy one now. I want to go buy it tomorrow. I don't care what it takes. I want a truck. I want to be a big boy dude.
See, it's funny. Cool. It's funny you bring that up because, we have a 16-year-old now, so we need another car, and we're looking at, and I'm going to get in trouble for this, but that's okay. My wife never watches. She asked me, she's like, "We get a new car. Like, what do you want to get?" And I'm not a car guy. I just don't know a lot about them. Like, I'm more about like maybe look than I am anything else. So I said, whatever. And she's like, well, what's yours? What do you want? And I'm like, you know what? We have a ton of kids, but we have two cars that already fit eight. We're only six. So like, if we don't have to have every car fit everybody, I want to get a truck. Like, how many times do I bug friends and buddies? I'm like, I want to get a truck. And remember, it was going to be my car. And then she's like, we're not getting a truck. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. Like, it was cute because she like posted like, we're going to get you a car. You have a say. And then it was like, no, you don't have a say. So no, I'm the same way, Johnny. Eventually, I guess every 2 years, a new kid drives at this place. Eventually. Yep. So eventually I'm going to get myself a truck. I completely agree with that.
And they're all boys, and they're going to cost you a bundle insurance.
I know.
Even though they're all great students.
Yeah, thank God for their mother. Johnny, by the way, happy belated birthday. It snuck past me. What are you, 42, 43?
Yep, 67, Pally.
Good for you. You look great. You're doing great. I think I want to start in college football. There's a lot I want to get to. Okay. And I want to start with the Illini because we haven't talked about them yet. And it was the big game this weekend. They welcomed Ohio State to town. Ohio State was on a different level. Now, Illinois didn't play very well. They made mistakes. They had to play perfect to stay in that game, and they didn't do that. So they lost. They're now 5-2 in the season. Their only two losses are to two teams that will be playing in the college football playoffs. I mean, Indiana beating Oregon this week. Well, probably the most impressive victory on Saturday. So Illinois, with 2 losses against 2 outstanding football teams, they're no longer ranked in the top 25. Is that fair?
Absolutely not. And you know that I'm an Iowa football fan because of Coach Ferentz and LeVar Woods and their relationship with my son. So I'll leave that. 2 high character men, as you know as well. So I'm not really an Illinois per se. I'm a huge Brett Bielema fan. That is ridiculous. They should still be in the top 25. They got beat by my name's Signetti. I win. Google it. And who has a phenomenal program. And I have the greatest respect for him as a coach and what he's done at Indiana. It's just amazing. No longer a basketball school. Everybody thinks about Indiana as a football school, and pretty good baseball school. Take that a step further. Illinois they just got beat by a better football team, and I don't think Luke Altmaier played poorly. I thought they did some decent things against what I consider the best defense in the country.
Yeah.
They had the back end of the best safety. The back end of Ohio State's defense is arguably the best in college football. Excuse me. So people just need to step back. It was a kick in the teeth, wherever you want to call it, to not have them in the top 25. Is there work to do? Absolutely. Can they still win 10 football games? You bet. Or 9, and still find themselves in a $4, $6, $8 million payday, or $5 million payday on New Year's Day, or the Music City Bowl, wherever it might be. Yes. Illinois fans, relax. You're good. You're going to be good for a while, but it's got to be on Brett Bielema's terms. And I think he knows as well as anybody that they are this close or sometimes this close. So it's starting to turn out to sound a little bit like, and you know this because you're close to it, every Iowa fan that gets upset that they're not this, but they win 9 football games and they go to that bowl somewhere in Florida every year, and they take Coach Ferentz for granted. Don't start taking Brett Bielema for granted. Illinois football's okay, should still be in the top 25. That's ridiculous, and they're going to have a really good football season. They're going to get better.
Let me play devil's advocate, because I mostly agree, but like they weren't this or this. They were this between those 2 teams. And if those are 2 of the top 12, I mean, well, like they got outscored 97-26 against 2 teams that are really good. So like, I think if it was this or even this, then maybe they're still in the top 25. They got blown out by 2 really good football teams, but they got blown out. And like the 63-10 thing. Now, mind you, it's not the end of the world here on October 13th that they're not in the top 25. And you know the guy down in Champaign, he's going to use that as a, hey, God, look at this. They think we suck. And like it'll work out well. But you know what? You got your butts kicked by 2 really good football teams, but you got your butts kicked. And so that maybe means that you're not in the top 25. I'm not. I mean, if I'm a voter, I don't know if I put them in. I'm okay with them not being there, but that gives them the rest of the way. And you mentioned too.
That's the Iowa in you coming out.
You mentioned too. I thought about this the other day. When will it be? And I don't think it's there yet, and they're going to enjoy the heck out of it. But you wait, Johnny, in a year or 2 or 3, it's going to be, this isn't enough. You know what it's like in Iowa City. You just talked about it. Like Iowa's going to win 9 games this year, 8 games, 9 games this year. And that's not enough. And so like you look at where you were at and you work at where you're at now, and you should love it. And if you're going to be Iowa every year, that is a beautiful thing. And then you can have seasons like this where you get games like this that maybe you are a college football playoff team. So I think they're in a great spot. I think he uses this as motivation. They got a very manageable schedule left. They got to go out to Washington. That's going to be a tough game, but they have a very manageable schedule. I think they're going to bounce back nicely, but bottom line's bottom line. Yeah, they're eliminated from the college football playoffs. They can go 10-2, but they are not going to. 10-2 might get some teams in. You know what? If Iowa goes 10-2 and they are 5-2 now, then they'll get in the college football playoffs, because that means they beat Penn State and Oregon and they hung with. They almost beat Indiana, should have beat Iowa State. Sorry, Cyclone fans. But Illinois still has 97-26 against the two good teams. That eliminates them from the college football playoffs. That's not the bad thing. That's not the end of the world. They can do a lot of good things, but they're not a playoff team anymore.
You love playing that 97-26 number. You can see it in your eyes. And
I got it written down.
It's for all the crap the Illinois fans give you about being the Iowa guy. No, you're digging that.
Facts, facts are facts. I didn't make it up.
Okay.
I didn't make it up.
Well,
I just did math.
I've also won 50-0 and lost 50-0.
I said I did math. I had one of my kids do the math. I can't do that math, but no. So it's, and like I said, they will use that. Nobody cares that you were not ranked after week 7 of the college football season. Just use it as a motivation. In fact, I think Brett Bielema loves it. I think he's probably looking at that going, or yesterday when it came out and said, perfect, let me use this to motivate. I do want to mention this, Johnny, when it comes to Illinois, Cole Rusk, 5 receptions, 63 yards, I think 68 yards, something like that. Played one of his best football games, probably his best football game in Illinois. Loved seeing that. And then Matthew Bailey, 8 tackles, 7 solos, tackle for loss. I know it wasn't a losing cause, but 2 of our guys and Quad Cityans making big plays against the best team in the nation. I thought that was cool to see.
I think Matthew Bailey plays on Sunday, and he's just gifted. And Brett Bielema said that a couple of years ago. I'm just repeating some of the things. But, high school, he was a guy that could play quarterback. He played receiver. He did, when Ponder came in, he threw it. He was as deadly as anybody and as gifted. And plus, him, Matty. There's not a better kid on planet Earth. So I have great respect for both those kids. And Cole Rusk is a friend of my son's, a good friend. Yeah. So they know each other. I have nothing but the ultimate respect. But it was good to see. But when one of you guys on the back end has an 8 or 10 tackle day, you're struggling.
Yep. No, 100%.
But good for him. But yes, I don't think they're that far off. Even though you keep playing that numbers game, sometimes things get away from you, like it did against Indiana. So you could have your 90, have your kids added up for you. Will they be ranked at the end of the season? Yes.
They've played 2 good teams. They lost by 71 total points. They weren't in either game. Yep. They're a good football team. They're not a playoff team yet. Iowa goes to Wisconsin and embarrasses Wisconsin. We had Pat Anger on earlier in the show. 37-0. Are you more impressed with Iowa after the bye week and where this thing can go? Or are you more concerned about what's going on with Wisconsin and the Badgers?
I'm more concerned with what's going on in Wisconsin because of all the good work. And Luke, look at me, folks. Luke Fickell knows football. I mean, I have sat in on at conferences where Luke Fickell, or conventions or where Luke Fickell spoken. Excuse me. He knows what he's doing. Is he going to get fired? Yeah. I'm surprised he still has his job today after what went on in Penn State. So, more surprised. Yeah, I looked up. We were having a meal after the game, and I looked up, and it was 20-0 Iowa, and they had 17. They scored 17 in the first quarter. I saw that, and but uncharacteristic mistakes by a Wisconsin team, by a Luke Fickell football team. I don't know. I hate when people say they've lost the locker room. Guys at that level don't lose the locker room. No, I mean I've talked about this for 4 years or 5 years. With somebody who's been in those locker rooms. Coaches don't lose the locker rooms. Coaches can coach. Sometimes players can't play. And some things happen physically. Please don't. It's not all poor coaching. These guys know more than we'll ever know, and will forget more than we'll ever know. So I'm surprised that they scored that many points, but I see them getting better week by week offensively. But I also am surprised how poorly Wisconsin, as good a fundamental instructor at the head, let that happen. So, yeah, I don't think Luke Fickell's long for Wisconsin. I'm surprised at that. But I'm encouraged as somebody who admires Iowa football at the direction they're trending.
No, absolutely. And on the Wisconsin side of things, I think it's a cautionary tale. We talked about it last week. Don't wish for things you don't want. And you look at the University of Iowa, and fans want, and it's a different. And I'm nothing against Luke Fickell. And if you think about it, Johnny, Brett Bielema left Wisconsin, went down to Arkansas, and just didn't work. And then now he's at Illinois and it
Sometimes
works.
it doesn't.
Sometimes it just doesn't work, and I don't know if it's gonna. I don't think he's gonna chance to figure it out because their next 6 games are brutal. So they could be 2-win team this year, and that doesn't fly in Wisconsin. But it's trying to fit a square peg into a round hole or whatever. It just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't work. And Wisconsin
Jimbo
football.
Fisher.
Yeah, Wisconsin football is Wisconsin football, and they're trying to do something now. They're trying to get back to it a little bit, but it's disjointed. It's not right. I will say this about Iowa, and we talked with Pat Anger about it too. I think they're going to, and Kirk does this. They play better and better and better throughout the season. I'll tell you what, next weekend's game is going to be fascinating because I want to talk to you about James Franklin. Penn State comes to town without their starting quarterback now, and they fired their head coach. And I'm not a James Franklin guy. I don't think he wins enough. I don't think or enough big games, all of those kind of things. But Johnny, he was just 6 months ago, he was playing in the college football playoffs and the semifinals, and now 3 losses, and all of a sudden he's told to go away. I'm just shocked by the timing of it and how it all went down. 3
plays and they're unbeaten.
Yeah.
3 plays away from being unbeaten. So again, but now, look what he makes and look at the landscape of college football. And a minute ago, I just yelled while you were in the middle of making a great point. I yelled Jimbo Fisher. Guys, square pegs, round hole.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. I just think Penn State as a whole, and you and I, that members of the media all those years, you grow weary of the act that is row the boat. I have nothing against PJ Fleck. I'm a fan. I love the tie. It's all a lot for show, but that's how he incorporates. That's his way he does things. A lot of people that drives them nuts. Not everybody is a sit down, basic, do things the right way guy like Kirk Ferentz. Sorry, it's just Brett Bielema, as you said, hit a road bump at Arkansas. A speed bump at Arkansas. Will James Franklin coach again tomorrow if he wanted?
Surprised the timing of it. I thought okay, end of the year, this kind of stuff